So thanks for the introduction. So my name is Kate Ballingett. I'm here from Google. I'm on the Google Automotive Dealer Jumpstart team. So it's primarily my role to consult actually with our manufacturer partners and their agencies on how to better align their national brand advertising in digital with what their dealers are doing on a local retail level. I've been with Google for almost 3 years now. All the time on Google Automotive, and for the past 2 years in my role as the Dealer Jumpstart strategist. I sit in our Manhattan office, and I actually just moved here from Southern California about 6 weeks ago, where I'd worked out of our Venice Beach office. So if you see me up here shaking, it's not because I'm nervous. My sensitive SoCal skin is still adjusting to this weather change, and it's been rather difficult. So I know today you're going to hear from a lot of the great partners you work with on some actual strategies that you can implement this year to evolve your dealership's digital footprint. So I thought it would make sense to kick off the day looking kind of high level at some of the top digital trends that we at Google Automotive are thinking about as we evolve our business in 2013 and beyond. And then we can see how these apply to the auto shopper today and how they're interacting with dealers. So you can kind of use this as a framework for evaluating which of the strategies that you see applies most to your dealership and what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so the first trend that's top of mind for our business is quite simply that everyone and everything is online. And in automotive, we know this is key because 90% of auto shoppers start their research process online. Now, during their process, they consult an average of 18.2 different media resources to make their decision about which brand to buy, as well as which dealer to buy from. So that's everything from third-party review sites to consumer review sites to competitor sites. And just to put this into context, so 18.2 average number of media resources for auto shoppers, 14.7 is the average number of media resources that just users and people in the United States consult when deciding which president to vote for. So we actually use more research sources to decide which car to buy, as opposed to deciding who the next leader of the free world is going to be. So, now, two of the most important sources that consumers consult these days are manufacturer sites and dealer sites. So we see that about 78% of auto shoppers in 2012 went to a manufacturer site, and 76% of auto shoppers went to a dealer site. Now, these numbers continue to grow year after year. In 2010, it was 59% of shoppers going to manufacturer sites and 56% of shoppers going to dealer sites. So I am absolutely confident that in this year's BuyFlow study for behavior in 2012, we're going to see that number probably rise above 80%. So that's my gut, that over 80% of people this year are going to go to manufacturer sites and dealer sites in their research process. Now, as a result of consulting all of these resources and spending so much time online while in market, consumers are hyper-informed these days. There's a pretty good chance that the shopper that walks onto your lot knows just as much as someone on your sales staff. I somewhat epitomized this shopper last spring when I went to go buy my last car. I arrived on the lot with a 30-page packet, I kid you not, with all of the information that I had printed out from my whole research process. As I mentioned, again, 18.2 average number of resources shoppers consult. That number goes up to 25.4 for shoppers between the ages of 18 and 34. I fell into that category. I had about 3 different prices that I expected in terms of my trade-in value for my car that I had printed out from 3 different sources. I had printed out reviews for the dealership that I went to, as well as reviews for the 3 closest dealerships that I was also considering. So I was there, I knew what I wanted, I knew the price that I had expected, I was hyper-informed. Now, a big trend that we're looking at for 2013, though, is the fact that, yes, consumers arrive on the lot hyper-informed, but more importantly, they continue to inform themselves when they're on the lot itself. So the research process and information gathering does not stop when I leave my house and move on to the lot. I still haven't made a decision about what dealer I'm going to buy from, or even what brand I'm going to purchase when I'm on the lot itself. And this is, of course, due to the rise of smartphones. So we know that this year, in 2013, nearly 1 out of 2 searches in automotive is going to come from a mobile device. And this is, of course, going to be extremely important for dealers because mobile is inherently local. So this is actually going to influence the auto shopping process the most on a local retail level. Now, I mentioned on-the-lot behavior. So this is information gathering that's going to continue while shoppers arrive on your lot. And again, they still haven't made a decision about a dealer or even a brand when they get to the lot these days. So on average, about 30% of auto shoppers do price comparison on the lot itself. And even more important to our manufacturer partners especially is the way that today's open-minded shopper uses their mobile device on the lot. So in the buy flow study, we found that about 1 out of 4 shoppers these days is considering 4 or more brands. There's so many great cars on the market in every single segment these days that consumers are keeping an open mind. 1 out of 4 shoppers considering 4 or more brands. And it's those very open-minded shoppers that are so key because they are the ones that are, again, researching the most when they're on the lot itself. They still are not decided about a brand or a dealer. So we see that, in green, these are those open-minded shoppers that are considering 4 or more brands. And you can see about 50% of them are doing things like looking at third-party reviews and reviewing descriptions of models. So they're still undecided when they're on the lot itself. So this trend that consumers are hyper-informed and continue to inform themselves on the lot, on mobile, is going to be one of the most important trends, I think, for dealers this year to consider. Now, the third trend that we're looking at is the fact that it is a 4-screen world. There is a very good chance that your shopper these days watches TV, uses their laptop, uses their smartphone, and uses their tablet every single day. So it's no surprise that today 90% of media consumption in the 4-screen world takes place across these 4 screens. So keep in mind that when you're thinking about where to take, creative assets to reach and influence your shopper, 90% of their time is going to be spent across these 4 screens. Now, one of the most fascinating parts of the 4-screen world is actually this idea of multi-screen behavior. So this refers to the behavior of people using multiple devices at once. I think, again, I epitomize the apex of this. I have 11 internet-connected devices in my apartment, which, by the way, in New York is much smaller than my apartment in LA. And so pretty much every night you can probably find me finishing my evening on my couch, with The Daily Show on and with my laptop in my lap and a phone and a tablet by my side. So this idea of multi-screening and how it impacts your business, there are 2 types of multi-screening behaviors. The first type is what we call sequential device usage. So that's a fancy term for the fact that people start their research process on one device and then continue that same research and that same action on another device. So we see here just in general, people that start searching for information on a smartphone, 65% of the time, they'll actually finish what they were doing and continue what they were doing on a laptop. So you can think about, if you're, waiting in traffic or, for the subway, you start researching a dealership on your smartphone because you're stuck. but you're likely going to finish, the process of submitting a lead on a laptop, right? Because mobile devices are designed more for connectivity, laptops are designed more for productivity. Now, this is really key because you want to make sure that there's a really seamless experience across all of those devices for your consumer. It should be really easy for me to start looking you up on my smartphone and then finish my interaction with you on my laptop. Now, the other part of the multi-screen world that's important to you guys is the concept of simultaneous device usage. So again, multi-screening, sequential device usage. I start an action on one device and then finish on another. Simultaneous device usage just refers to that image that I started with, your shopper that has 4 screens up at once, using them simultaneously. The way we're seeing this be really key for dealers is just how many people use smartphones, laptops, and tablets especially when they're watching TV. Because I know how much dealers love to advertise on TV. So 85% of tablet owners use their tablet while they're watching TV. 85%. They have it on their lap and they're actively playing with it when they see your commercial. Now, I don't have tablet up here, but 28% of those tablet users will end up doing a search on their tablet after seeing a commercial on TV. So if you do a really good job with that TV commercial, it's engaging and exciting, and it makes a consumer want to continue to look up information about you, they're going to search for you on the spot on their tablet right after seeing that commercial. So just as it's key for giving your consumer a seamless experience for that sequential behavior, seamless experience if I start on a smartphone and finish on a laptop, it's also key that you give them a seamless experience for that simultaneous device usage. So it should be really easy for me when I see a commercial from your dealership to search for it on my tablet and to be able to watch that commercial and other videos from you on my tablet. Okay, the fourth trend that is affecting how we think about our business at Google Automotive, as well as the recommendations that we make to our manufacturers and to our agencies. The fourth trend is quite simply that sharing and endorsement continue to accelerate. We all know how important social is. We all know how important reviews are to bringing in new customers, how important continuous social engagement is for continuing a relationship with customers. So when we think about the next frontier for social, we're really looking actually at social video, okay? Because video, online video is also an extremely important trend in auto this year and moving forward. In our buy flow study, we saw that 50% of auto shoppers were watching 10 to 30 minutes of online video. They are expecting great, diverse content online. More and more of them are subscribing to YouTube brand channels, and most importantly, sharing videos. So video itself is one of the best mediums online for connecting with your customers these days. That's why it's so important, from our perspective. You've got sight, sound, and motion. And if you're doing a really good job with video, you can take advantage of just the social spine of the web to amplify that great content, right? So many auto shoppers watching video, a lot of them watch video, as you can see, that was shared with them by a family member or a friend, okay? So that is why online video is going to be really key when you start to think about social, right? Social is not just about acquiring fans and commenting. It's about building a community with really the best digital medium out there, online video. So some of the more successful dealerships right now are really prioritizing their YouTube brand channel. I know of one dealer group out here on the East Coast that their videos have been watched 8 million times. They have over 40,000 subscribers to their YouTube channel. So YouTube is not just for brands, it's for dealerships as well. So when you think about sharing an endorsement, really think about cultivating a community around online video. That's going to be one of your best online tools for engaging with consumers, and people love to share video. And finally, the fifth trend that's affecting how we think about our business and how auto shoppers are engaging with manufacturers and dealers around the web is that extraordinary is the new ordinary. All consumers, auto shoppers in particular, really expect a lot from the brands and the dealers that they interact with online these days. We can see this kind of playing out across our products with Google Hangouts. How many of you guys have used a Google Hangout so far in Google+? Okay, I really encourage you to, one, establish your Google+ local page for your dealership, and two, to start taking advantage of some of the really cool tools on that platform, Hangouts being one of the best ones. So this is one of our most utilized tools in Google+. And it's basically online video chat, but on steroids. It's got some really cool features where you can share a screen, you can talk to 2, 3, 4 customers at once. You could host a community broadcast. If you're doing an event at your dealership, you can broadcast it to as many people who want to watch as possible on your Google+ page using the Hangout. And we've seen some of the more innovative and extraordinary dealers out there actually start to sell cars on the Hangout itself. So this was a Volkswagen dealer who actually sold a Beetle online over a Google Hangout to a customer. So the entire purchase process was online. He did all of his research about the brand that he wanted to buy as well as the dealer that he wanted to buy from online, and then found that he was able to just buy that car in a Hangout from that dealer. So those were a lot of stats. Let's go ahead and put it all together now within the context of an actual consumer journey, because stats are great, but let's think about how they're actually affecting what one of your hypothetical consumers might be doing these days in their entire online path to purchase. And then we'll think about kind of different ways that you could reach and engage with this shopper across different platforms. So let's imagine that we have a woman and she's in market for her next vehicle. So how are all 5 of these trends affecting her behavior? Well, we said, number 1, everyone and everything is online. There's a 90% chance that she's going to go online to start her research process about what brand to buy and what dealer to buy from. Number 2, we know that she's hyper-informed. She's going to walk onto your lot, again, possibly knowing just as much, if not more, than your sales staff. And she's going to continue to inform herself on the lot as well using her smartphone. Again, 30% of shoppers doing price checking on the lot on their smartphone. She is going to continue to make her decision on the lot itself based on what she finds on her mobile device. That third trend affecting her, she lives in a 4-screen world. She uses her TV, her laptop, her smartphone, and her tablet every single day. And she's using them sequentially, going from one device to another, but researching the same advertiser. And she's using them simultaneously, so using 2 of them at once. And again, if she owns a tablet, there's an 85% chance that she's using that tablet when she watches TV, and a 28% chance that she then does a search on that tablet for an advertiser whose commercial she just saw. Okay, that 4th trend, sharing and endorsement are accelerating. So she's consuming a lot of online video content. Like we said, 50% of shoppers watching 10 to 30 minutes of online video. And not only that, she's watching content that's been shared with her by a family member or a friend. And this is key, that personal sharing as well, because people are more likely to trust and be influenced by recommendations from their family members and friends, right? So we found overall that about 76% of consumers in general say that a recommendation from a family member or friend influenced their purchase decision. So sharing online video with your personal network is really, really, really key. And then finally, she expects an extraordinary experience from the brand and the dealer that she's interacting with. And most conversations happen online these days. She probably expects to have a really engaging conversation with your dealership online and giving her the opportunity to buy a car over a Google Hangout. Like we said, that's an extraordinary experience that is actually going to become very ordinary in the years to come. And so within this woman's journey, how can you make sure that you are a trusted and engaging resource as she goes to all of these different touch points online and she engages in all of these different behaviors? How can you be there with relevant information to build that relationship as she consults all of those resources to make her final decision? Well, number one, as soon as she goes online, she should absolutely be able to see your dealership. You should be there with relevant information to what she's searching for, become that trusted source of information for her throughout the entire process. She's not just searching for, the phone number or location for her dealership. We found that in, not last year's study, but the study before, that 34% of shoppers were looking at in-vehicle technology information on dealer sites. And 33% of them were looking for that information on manufacturer sites. So dealer sites are actually a really important resource for shoppers throughout the entire process. So, as consumers go online, make sure that you're there all the time with relevant information for the entire journey. Build that relationship with that consumer, earn their trust. Now, after you've done a really good job of that, always showing up on search, always being there. As she continues to inform herself on your lot, make sure that you're absolutely there. I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't be the first result she sees when she's on your dealer lot making a search, right, on her mobile device. And then across that 4-screen world, let's say she leaves your lot still undecided. She goes home, watches a TV commercial from you, does a search on her tablet. She should absolutely find your TV commercial and other great videos, whether it's vehicle walkarounds on your lot, customer testimonials. Make sure that she can find great video content from you when she does a search, based on seeing your TV commercial. In terms of how you can succeed with the sharing and endorsement trend, again, all about online video, cultivating and curating a community on YouTube, getting those subscribers, continually pushing out great content that then they will share on your behalf, amplifying your message. Make sure that when she's searching for you, she was able to see your videos on YouTube, and she could see that people that she had trusted, whether they were family members or friends, had +1 to your YouTube channel, had commented that they had great experiences with you on your YouTube channel. Really prioritize YouTube as a social destination this year. And then finally, again, you can give this woman an extraordinary shopping experience with you. You can do an extraordinary job of being there at all of those touch points in the way that I just described. And then you can make sure that you finish that sale with a great digital experience as well. Okay. And bigger picture, when we think about how to succeed and consult with all of our advertisers on how to succeed, you really just need to reimagine everything. And think about that consumer journey. What's it really like? And completely start to rethink about how you present your dealership to your customer online. And so we at Google are here to always advise you, as well as the partners that you work with, on how you can continue to reimagine your digital footprint. And I don't have the slide up here, but our auto team actually just launched a Google Plus page. So this is the best way for you to interact with Google Auto and get your questions answered by some of my teammates. So it is google.com/plus, like the plus sign, Google Auto. So that is a great place to stay connected to us and the Google Auto team. I know a lot of dealers have expressed some frustration about how they can consult with Google Auto, after seeing us speak. And so this is finally a great avenue for you guys to get in touch and stay in touch with us. And we'll be putting out, the latest research that we have, new exciting strategies. We're updating that page every single day. So I really encourage you to get onto Google Plus and start adding us and continuing to partner with us. So thank you very much.